Hey, you guys, welcome to the Mental Odyssey podcast. We also have a co host here. I'm going to let her introduce herself. I'm really excited about this collaboration, so go ahead.
It's Altanya Lachey. I am also a podcaster. My show is What's Coming Out of Your Mouth podcast. It's with me and my brother. I am also a small business owner, mental health advocate, all things glam, you name it. I'm probably got my hand in it in some sort. And I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, I love that. Okay. So we have a couple topics, you guys. We have two total topics, but we're going to ease into the other one because they both correlate with each other. The first one is learning how to become the woman that you want to be, goal setting, and learning how to stay focused and determined. And since it is her first time on my podcast, I will let her go first just to have the honors. So go ahead when you're ready.
Well, I wasn't expecting that. Um, Well, I feel like okay, it's a new year. Well, in general, first of all, but with it being a new year, of course, you want to kind of hone in on those things that you kind of want to elevate. I feel like my word of the year for me personally is elevation. So I am like kind of looking inwardly and see what areas that I need to work on get elevation in, and how I could better love myself. Now, my thing, I feel like I love me. Like it's nothing no one can tell me, nothing that's gonna distort the love that I have for myself. However, we can find ourselves making some decisions that don't line up with the self-love that you say that you have. So I
Right.
think it's important to kind of like look at how things have been going and like, okay, maybe I need to love myself more in that area. And how do I do that? Making better decisions, or, making sure that my desires line up with the decisions that I'm making, different things like that. So, like, how do you feel like, or what is your motto of how to love yourself better?
I feel like that's a really good question, actually. Wasn't expecting that one. But when it comes to loving yourself and self love as a whole, I feel like it all has like a deeper meaning within itself. And what I mean
Yes.
by that is it's understanding who you are. And I talked a little bit about this in my last podcast because me personally, growing up, I was always told, Kier, you got to figure out who you are. You got to figure out what you want, what you're going to accept, what you're not going to accept from people because you can't expect somebody to love and care for you if you don't love and care for yourself. And that is so important. And when I was young, I never fully understood that meaning. I was just like, I know who I am. I'm Kiera. I like this. I play volleyball. Like
Mm-hmm.
things and qualities about yourself, but that self love is so much deeper than that. And it's about
Yes,
one, loving
absolutely.
the body that you're in. Off the
Yes.
top, you have to love how you come. And
Mm-hmm.
God creates us, in a certain way for a reason, and he won't put you through anything that you can't handle. You understand? So when it comes to
Absolutely.
self-love, it's having to love who you are, meaning what you look like, your mind, your personality, how you hold yourself, your standards and your boundaries, and how you
Mm-hmm.
decide to love others as well. So like
Mm-hmm.
it has a whole different, evolution of meanings on its own. But when it comes to also being the woman that you want to be, as I was younger, still trying to figure out who I was, it was hard because first of all, as a kid, you know how like you switch to different job interests that you want to be when you get older? I feel
Right.
like that also goes into like developing into who you want to be because that's your future career path. So it changes. So becoming who you want to be can always change. Like you can have a role model that you look up to, but you'll never quite meet that standard. And let me tell you, like in a way, it's what I mean. You'll never quite meet that standard because you're not them. You're your own
Yes.
person. So for you
Yes.
to get that where you want to be, it has to be from your standpoint, your standards, your journey, and your path. And everybody's journey and path is so different, which makes it beautiful within itself because
Yes.
everybody is not going to have the same story because we're all different. So when it comes to being who you want to be, that also goes into the goal setting aspect of, okay, let me jot down things that I know that I want in my future. Do I want a luxurious lifestyle? Do I want to settle down early? Do I want to go to school? Do I want to run my own business? Like setting these goals, like for example, people do vision boards. That's a great goal setting idea, I believe. And I did one myself. I did one for like my content and then one for like my personal, like my goals for myself, like your health and your overall well-being. So that's what I
Right.
feel like on that topic. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Now I agree with all of that 100%. And I am a big vision board girl myself. I used to do one every year, but this year I'm actually doing it a little bit differently. I'm pretty much focusing on the goals aspect of it. And then I'm going to go back and put the pictures on the board. Because I feel like
Yes.
a lot of
Okay.
times, kind of like what you said with a role model, like we see the big picture, but we don't map out the journey.
Yes.
And so while you're on the journey, you kind of lose yourself because you don't have any direction. So this year, I'm focusing on planning the direction I'm going to go in, although I know it could vary, but having an idea and then putting the grand scheme of it all on the board. So there, that is very good. And something else you said, defining self-love, what it means for you. I think a lot of people think it's like vanity, like making sure you look good, like
Right.
how you show up outwardly, but taking care of the inside and not really reflecting on, reflecting on it, but not just letting that be putting value on what somebody else said it should look like for you. Because
Right.
as you grow up, your mind changes and you see things in a different way. And so with your mom, what was love or how your mom loved on herself, or your sister, your aunt, or whoever it was in your environment, that may not be the same case for you. So you really have
Exactly.
to evaluate your life to see what works for you and how you want to show up as that lady. And you have to build that lady. So this is another project that I'm also doing is I think it's called Build Her. So what are her habits?
Okay.
What are her routines? And so I'm like, okay, this lady I say I'm evolving into or elevating to, what are her habits? Okay, she need to be waking up, not sleeping in and keep pressing snooze.
Right.
You know what
That'd be me most mornings though.
Yes, it's so much. There's so much depth to it. I don't know. So I definitely agree. So I would be interested on what the audience takeaway is about, what's
Yeah,
self love to them and where are they on their journey, or do they feel like they need? Because I think you could be a confident person and still want to grow deeper in your self love. And I
that's
don't think
very
people
true.
talk about that aspect probably enough. Like you feel like, okay, once I'm there, but it's always deeper.
Yeah, and it's also about, I want to stem off of what you just said. Once you also get to that point of, you have that self-love, that confidence with yourself, you know who you are, it's also about maintaining it. And I think we don't also talk about
Ooh,
maintaining that standard for yourself, because you'll go through some sort of life experience, or you'll go through like, just something in your life, some sort of change, and you kind of forget where you started and how you developed to be who you are today. So it's maintaining that
absolutely.
standard, still understanding your boundaries, not changing your boundaries for anybody, not changing your standards, not changing how you decide to love yourself for others, and still understanding that, okay, I may love myself and I may love this person as well, but I'm not going to stoop low to lower my self love that I've developed for myself that took me years, months, and so on and so forth. So I feel like that's another thing that we definitely need to get people to understand is how to stay afloat once you finally get there, because it can go down.
Mm.
Yeah, it
Oh
can go
yeah,
down, and that's where that mental health factor comes in, because people go through
yes,
things, and you feel those emotions, and then you get back down to square one, but you got to remember how to build yourself back up as well. So,
yes, girl. Okay, okay. I'm a
yep.
very, very strong mental health advocate. I actually, my 9 to 5, my real life is in the mental health, in
Mine
the
is as
mental
well,
health arena.
actually.
Oh wow! And
Yeah, I'm
so
a mental health tech. That's what I do. Yeah.
right now I work with the intellectual disability people who have intellectual disabilities, and so
Okay.
they have multiple dual diagnosis, so they have like mental health side of it and intellectual side. So that's what I do, and I love that. That's rewarding, but also draining. You know,
Yeah. It does take
and
a toll on your mental health. It
it
does.
does, it does. So, but like you said, as things change in your life, what I'm saying, you have to keep track on your mental health. I feel like working in this field and personally, it's a very, very, very fine line between sanity and insanity. So you
Yes.
have to be on top of things, and when you know you need a reset, you need to step back because your mind is cloudy. You need to do that because
Yes.
if you get on the other side, some people recover.
Yeah,
That
that's true.
can happen, but it's harder. I feel like if you can prevent falling off the cliff, then by all means, prevent.
Prevent it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. And especially, Black people, we just gotta, put it out there, our people don't think about seeking therapy and different things like that. It's such the
Yeah.
stigma. You would think in 2024, I know it just started 10 days in, but you would think
Yeah, I mean, you got a point though.
yeah, you would think that would not be a stigma. Like, you want what's best for yourself, like mentally, because if you don't have your mind, you don't have anything.
Exactly, exactly. And I actually want to stem off of that as well
Yes.
because I do feel in the Black community, mental health is not talked about enough. It's really not. It's
No,
really
it's
brushed off the shoulder. I mean, and then some people, depending on your upbringing and, how parents were raised, on their upbringing, they don't take it seriously. When you're a guy and it comes to your mental health, they expect you to be tough and not let things get to
yes.
you or seem soft or seem weak and, not to cry in front of a woman. And the whole shebang, you know what I mean? But
Hmm.
I feel like what we forget is that we're all human and we all have emotions and we need to
Absolutely.
feel those emotions. And feeling those emotions help you channel them, understand them, evaluate them, and reflect on them later. Okay, this situation made me feel this way. Now I know that I need to set this boundary so this doesn't happen to me again. Like, and then
Absolutely.
also the resources in regards to getting mental health treatment, people kind of think of it as like it's embarrassing and it's not. But I also understand because a lot of people have also painted this picture on our community that we are weak. And when it comes to Black women, I know everyone has at least heard this saying once, you're so strong. Like, I
Oh yeah.
always would hear that all the time when going through something. And I'm just like, but how is that fair? When somebody else goes through something, like you'll give them advice and things like that. But you're like, or like if you're a single mom, I don't know how you do it. You're so strong. Like, just because of what we're going through and what our life journey is right now, that should not be based off of our strength. We're strong regardless.
Yes.
But when it comes
Yes.
to those resources, I feel like people definitely think it's more embarrassing to seek help rather than to get the help that they need. So I definitely
Hmm.
agree with that.
Yeah, and I love that you touched on the being so strong. So like, I'm the strong friend, but the strong friends are tired. You know what I mean?
Yes, we're
And,
tired.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so like growing up, I just like I'm Superwoman. I'm Superwoman. Well, you realize that the Superwoman syndrome, being a
Yeah.
Superwoman and being able to handle everything and being strong for everybody is so taxing that it really depletes you. So you find yourself trying to pour into others and you don't have anything. So I really feel like you can express your strength but
Yeah.
don't extend it to the point that you're depleted. And I feel like as women, as mothers, you all these things, women have so many hats that they wear that they never get a chance to just really sit back and woo. So we need to make sure that's a form of that self love too, is making sure you're getting your fill up, or if you not at capacity, you say, today I can't handle that today. I don't,
Right.
and your family, friends, or whoever it is in your circle, they need to have that respect. And if not, you need to set boundaries with those individuals because some days you just don't have the capacity to take on somebody else's stuff.
Right. And
And that's
speaking of that
fine.
as well, you having those strong friends, you know how, like you said, we be tired? Those are also the friends that you need to check on. Those friends that are giving you life advice and giving you tips on how to get through things. Those are the people who are struggling the most because
Yes,
they've experienced all this stuff. They've
yes,
experienced all this stuff probably times 10 or like in some
yes.
different aspects of their life. So when they're giving you this life advice, they're actually digging deep into their own trauma or life experience to give you the advice on how they probably would have went about the situation. Now, granted, some people may be biased, like, no, the strong friend doesn't always go through things, but 9 times out of 10, they do. That's where they
They
get
do,
their
and they do
advice
it
from.
silently. Yeah,
Exactly.
because
And that's where they get their advice from. They don't just
yes,
pull it out of the air. So,
yes, yes,
hmm,
absolutely. Yeah, I mean they go through things, but I mean you so, and I don't mean this like as a target, but in a sense, you're so weak. If you're not the strong, the opposite of strong is weak. So if
right.
you're not the strong friend and you're the weak friend, how can the strong friend lean on you if you're only exhibiting weakness throughout the relationship? And
That's
that's
true.
something else you can think about is like, yeah, you have your friends you've been friends with since forever, but you need to find friends who you are able to lean on when you're tired of being strong. Like you all are strong friends and just take turns versus only being one strong friend pouring into a whole crowd of four. So of course you're not gonna have anything left.
Yeah.
So that's something that we need to think about as well is choosing, better people to be in our circle.
Yeah. I actually just went through a situation myself where I had a friend for a very, very long time. And, at one point I realized that the friendship really wasn't beneficial anymore on both ends. It was definitely starting to feel one sided just a little bit. I mean, the support was there sparsely, but it was
Yeah,
definitely one sided. And I was like, it's a new year, and I don't want to keep feeling this way. I don't like this feeling. I don't like feeling like a bother. I don't like feeling like I'm annoying. But then when you need me, you expect me to be there times 10. You want my advice. You want my
absolutely.
time. You want me to be your venting, your shoulder to cry on. But when it comes to me, I'm getting shortlisted, or I don't get advice, or I don't get any recommendation or reassurance at all from you. And I was like,
Yes.
that's just really not fair overall. And that's kind of given like a one side friendship. So I had to cut that friendship off, honestly. So
Hmm.
I definitely get that. I
And that
definitely
was,
do.
I'm sure that was challenging to do, but we need to
Yeah,
put that in practice more. I feel like,
definitely.
it's funny for me to say this, but learning to walk, get on there, you got the top on. Learning to really just walk away and say, okay, this is no longer serving me. That's a major skill that we all
It
can
is.
develop and implement and stand
Yep.
on it when you do it. You may
Stand
wait,
on
but
business.
yeah, stand
Yes.
on. You gotta stand on business because if you never
Yes,
learn to start
always.
setting those boundaries and put and not changing, you will
Mm-hmm.
forever be at someone else's beck and call and doing what's good for the masses versus what's good for you personally.
Exactly. Agreed. Okay,
Yeah.
so our next topic, since we kind of touched on it a little bit, but let's talk about the learning how to stay focused, motivated, and determined. What's your opinion on that?
Well, I think you. I think that's very vital. I think that you need to just like do a self assessment to see like what areas do you lack discipline in the most, or do you, because you can say I'm gonna set goals, or like I'm saying I'm trying to make sure I wake up earlier. Well, if I'm already an early riser and I get things done throughout the day, do I really need to focus on that? So I think
Right.
making sure that you're setting what they say smart goals, you
Smart,
know,
yes.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so
Yep.
that what,
Goals that actually make sense that you're not already doing. You got to
yeah,
dig deeper. Yep.
areas that need true enhancement, but that's gonna come with, taking a day off of social media, away from anybody to really do a self assessment. I think you should do that at least twice a year. Am
Mm-hmm.
I in alignment with my goals, or do I need to reset a goal? Does this goal, I don't want to do that. Like, I'm not on the trajectory to reach that one, so let me pivot. You know, I just think that's just vital if you're a type of person that wants to elevate and evolve. Like, it's a no brainer. But figuring out exactly what those goals needs to be and being disciplined in that area. And I'm
Yes.
very like a person of faith, so I mean,
Mm-hmm.
bring little Jesus in there if that's your thing. Because I mean, we can't do it by yourself, or just people in
Yes,
your
true.
circle. Get you an accountability partner. Because
Yep.
I can say, okay, I'm waking up, and did you get up at 5 today, girl? No, I ain't get up at 6:30.
And that's
Okay,
motivational right there. I love that you said that. I love that you said that. That has
yeah,
so much motivation within itself.
yes, I need call me, girl. Check on me, make sure, because a lot of areas you may have it together, but it's one area that we all have. Like, you need to get yourself together in that area, and you need somebody
Right.
to make sure you're doing it instead of you just saying that you're doing
Mm-hmm.
it.
That's
Mm-hmm.
true. I
Yeah.
could not agree more. Okay, well, shoot, you kind of touched everything in my aspect, but when it comes to, self-discipline, staying motivated, staying focused, I'm going to kind of touch it on, like us being, podcasters and content creators because we create content. So
Touching
in
on that.
that aspect, I feel like sometimes it can be hard to stay motivated, You may see somebody, being in the position you may want to be, and you may be like, well, what am I not doing to get there? Why am I still stuck at square two while they're on square 10? But
Oh,
a
guess
lot
what?
of people have a habit of comparing their journey to others, and that's where that lack of motivation comes in, and that lack of self-discipline. My AirPod is falling out. Hold on a
Yes,
second.
girl. You saying a whole word right
But
there.
yes, like, yeah, and I feel like people forget that everybody starts at different positions. So your motivation tactic, it could even be meditation in the mornings to help get your
Yes,
mind clear, to get you in a positive state of mind. Journaling, you can journal to help you get a
yes,
positive state of mind. Reading, talking to somebody that you trust, like you said, having an accountability partner.
Mhm.
literally loved that. Like, that was perfect, literally. I loved that. And sometimes some people have trust issues because, like I said, back to mental health, in your upbringing. So maybe accountability may not be your thing, but maybe just venting. Like, at one point for me, I kind of went through a period where, I didn't really trust anybody with my feelings or my emotions. And it took me years to understand, and like I said, develop who I am, understand my mental health, and get it back to a clear, peace state, full of mind. Because,
Mhm.
everybody does. I think everybody goes through a period of depression in their life, whether it's
Yeah.
grieving over somebody, the list really
Mhm.
goes on.
Mhm.
So when it came to that, I actually used to record video recordings of myself to watch my progress throughout the months and then reflect on it at the end of the year and be like, okay, you may have went through a lot of effed up things, okay,
Mhm.
but look at you now. Look at how you've evolved. Look at how you carry yourself. Look at how you've decided to really put forth these boundaries. And I'm saying boundaries a lot because that is so important, because that is the way people are going to understand you, respect
Absolutely.
you, and love you the way that you want to be loved. If that,
Yes.
you kind of get what I mean? Yeah.
Yes, I understand that completely. And I love the aspect of you saying just recording the videos. So you have to have a way of tracking that habit or tracking that progress. So I love that. And that's kind of what I'm doing. So I'm a YouTuber as well, small YouTuber, but it's
Hey,
growing.
both of us here. Both
Yeah,
of us here.
yeah. And that's kind of how I'm tracking my like content journey. Like it's a personal thing too. Like I know when I watched this video, I was going through that then, and now I'm at this level. But also like, how is my content evolving? You know what I'm saying? How is my
Yeah.
editing evolving? My first video, like, oh my god, you really published that? And now like some videos, like, okay, girl, you kind of had it together on there.
Right.
So yeah, like you find a way. I just feel like there is no excuse for you to remain the same way you are right now if you truly want better for yourself. Like there
I
are so
totally
many
agree with you.
different ways. And
Yes.
all thing like you said, the meditation. And that's like getting up a little early before the kids get
Mm-hmm.
up, before the man get up, before the woman get up, before
Okay.
distractions. Have you a little moment or journaling before
Right.
bed, gratitude, whatever your thing is. Like it is a way to get there if you truly want to become him or become her. You just
Yes.
gotta figure it out. You gotta stay consistent, like you were saying, content creation and podcast. You gotta stay
Mm-hmm.
consistent. You looking at these people who got millions of followers, that takes consistency, and that's
It
so.
does.
Every time I hear them, like, oh, that's the number one reason they say every time, but that is really true. It takes consistency. It takes
It
coming on
really
here
does.
every week or however often you say that you're gonna show up. Whenever you say you're gonna show up, show up. I don't care if
Yes.
one person there, if nobody there. You keep
Mm-hmm.
showing up, and eventually they will too. If you build it, they'll come.
But another thing is, you got to show up for yourself because of how bad you want it. You have to, when you start, you have to remember why you started. And that is also going to help you to keep push going and to keep going with your goals, is remember the ultimate reason as to why you started, because you want to be in this position. You want to be here. You want
Yes,
these accomplishments. You want these goals, rather than looking at the, oh, well, they're already there and I'm still stuck here. No, remember, you wanted to be past that level. So you have to
yes,
stay consistent and have that self discipline. Yes.
yes. I love that, and I
Yes.
love your voice. It's so soothing.
Oh, thank you. I was gonna
Yeah.
say the same about yours. Like, I can tell. I'm sorry, I'm uncomfortable. I was doing crisscross applesauce. I gotta readjust. But no, like, I loved your voice too. Like, I don't know, like when you said like it's soft, like most people, you probably wouldn't even suspect how old I am. Everybody says like you sound so mature, like a 45-year-old woman. I'm actually only 21. So
I well, I didn't think 21, but I was like,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, okay.
Hmm.
Well, I love this for you,
Thank
because
you.
so much growth. Think about just where you are now at 21 and where you could be at 30. If you
Exactly.
stay
I'm ready
on
for it. I'm
on this
ready to see
path.
where I can be. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, and it's gonna happen because it's mindset. Oh, that's something that I want to talk about too.
Of course,
Mindset
go ahead. Yeah.
is the main key to all of these topics, because
Yes.
once you get your mind set onto what it is, there is nothing literally that can stop you. Like you have to
Exactly.
make your mind up. But if you don't make your mind up and you wavering, one day I'm gonna do this, one day I'm gonna do that,
Right.
unstable mind, it's not gonna work in your favor.
You
So
always
yeah.
have to try to keep a calm state of mind. It's hard.
Yes.
It's easier said than done. I'm not gonna lie. Like we're over here saying like, oh yeah, keep yeah. It
Yeah.
takes time. It
Yes,
takes work.
true.
It
True.
has no certain duration. It has no certain time frame, but you will get there. And getting your mindset to a place where it is peaceful all the time and understanding and where you want to be at is you're going to feel so great once you get there. You're going to
Yes.
feel like, wow, I finally did it. I finally understand me. I finally know what I want. My goals are starting to be accomplished. You know, God is guiding me through it and he's here with
Yes.
me every single step of the way. And that is just so important within itself. I think so. Definitely the mindset and the goal within itself.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. Now we ain't gonna get on here and act like rage, like you're not gonna have a day
Right.
where you just like, everything is going wrong. That will occur as well. But my
Very
motto
true.
with that is one day,
Mm-hmm.
cry, fall out, scream, cuss, fight, whatever it is, one day. Next day, on to solution. Because
Mm-hmm.
you can't be just all about the problems. You gotta be solution oriented. Problems
Right.
gonna arise, but solution. Figure out a solution. It's always a strategy. It's always a strategy to get to
Mm-hmm.
the next level, to get past whatever's going on. And if you are really truly trying to evolve, everything's gonna pop up. Everything
Agreed.
to make you say, you can't be that girl, or you can't be that guy, or this is not for you, it's gonna pop up. But no,
Right.
you gotta be like, no, this is for me. Like, I'm going
Mm-hmm.
after it. I don't care what comes up. Like, so you
Right.
take that little one day, you cry, you do your little reset. Tomorrow, you wake up, get back at it.
Mhm.
You know?
And I definitely agree with that. It's also about taking it one day at a time. So yes, take that day
Yes,
to cry, but also understand that Rome wasn't built in a day. So you're not going to be okay today. You're not going to hit your goals in a day, and that's okay. And you're going
yes,
to make mistakes and you're going to get setbacks because you're human. You're
yes,
human. So that's
yes,
very important. Very important.
yes. I love that. Okay, girl. Stop it.
All right. Well, we kind of summed up the topic, so I'll go ahead and start to close, and then I'll let you close. You can, re-promote your stuff, whatever you got to do. I totally support it. But okay, so thank you guys so much for watching the Mental Odyssey. Make sure to check out her page and her social medias as well, as she's going to promote them because why not? We gotta self promo is key. So I will let her go ahead and do that, and then we will close.
Okay, well, again, thank you for having me. I look forward to the next one. It's so crazy that we
Yes.
connected on TikTok, and I don't even know
Right.
how I was. It nudged me or something. It was like nudge this lady. I'm like, let me see who this lady is because I don't want to be nudging somebody. And I saw that we
Right.
had talked about doing a podcast. I'm like, well, it's a new year, and I really want to collab with a lot of beautiful women. I'm no
Yes, me
thing about
too.
men, but I'm a girl's girl, so I want
Of
to collab with a
course.
lot of people this year. And I was like, well, let me just see if she's still interested. And it's been in 2022, I think it said. So
Yeah, it was a while back.
yeah, so I am Altanya Lachey again. My podcast is What's Coming Out of Your Mouth. We do a live episode every Tuesday. It's me and
Okay.
my brother. We co-host the show. My business is Confidence Glam Fashion. So it's like an online boutique or whatever. But I am rebranding, so to speak, with my business. But it's there, the website is
Okay.
there, and all that. And so yeah, I'm a content creator, YouTube, I'm all those things. I'm a girl's girl. Like I said, I love all things pretty and glam and fashion and all that. I'm a little what should you say, a budding stylist and confidence
Okay.
coach. So yeah, just I would love, if you want to chat or whatever, come on over. If not, please support her. I'm so excited. I didn't even realize you was
Oh.
21, girl. This is awesome.
Thank
But
you.
I'm gonna
That's
have
so
to get you on
sweet.
our show,
Of
and you
course.
can
I'd
come
love that.
on
Oh my
and
god.
talk about your show. Whenever the time aligns. So I'm
Yes.
excited.
Oh my gosh. We definitely have to plan that out. I would literally love that. That'd be awesome.
Yes, of course, of course. Like I said, my brother's on,
Okay.
but we can do a one-on-one because sometimes I do my women chat. It just depends on
Okay.
who people want to come
Even
on.
if all three of us did it, I would still be totally down. Just let me know what topics y'all want to talk about and we can
Yeah,
go from there. So yeah, of course.
awesome. Well, all right. I
All
really
right.
enjoyed it. Thanks for having me. Until next time.
All right. See ya. Thank you again.
Yeah.